1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, y'all. Welcome back to the Klyph Notes podcast. Yo, I'm so excited for this, man. I'm so grateful to have come to this stage, man, where I get to share with you the first episode of the Klyph Notes podcast recorded with a live audience, man. It was such a great experience. Shout out to everybody who was in the building. Off top, shout out to Show Bar for hosting the event. It was a great night. It was an amazing night. And once again, everybody who came through, I'm so grateful to you for helping make this come to fruition, man. This is something that I've been thinking about doing for quite some time, and the timing was right. We were able to pull it together, and it was really dope. Excited for the next several live recordings of the Klyph Notes podcast that are already on deck. So we're growing the podcast, and we're doing it in great part because of you, because of listeners like you who have liked and subscribed and rated and shared and commented and have been encouraging to the journey of what we're doing, providing platforms for individuals making an impact on their community, man. So if you weren't there in the building, or if you were there and you just want to revisit it and be a part of the event again, this is it, man. This is what we're doing right here, man. Recorded this event with someone who I'm grateful to be on the life journey with, someone who, if you're a fan of the Klyph Notes podcast or the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show or Mic Check, any of the things that are part of the DJ Klyph production brand, then you are familiar with him. But he was kind enough to come through and be the first guest on this live rendition of the podcast, man. We had a chance to talk about a number of things, making it through the pandemic, of course, projects that he released and recorded during the pandemic. We talked about the Dhope Dealer experience. It was such a good time, man, and I'm grateful and honored to be able to share with you, my listeners, the first live recording of the Klyph Notes podcast with JxJury. Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Akepele Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip-hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Akepele, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out akepele.com. That's AKEPELE.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show you're about to listen to may contain explicit content. So guess what? You need to put them babies to sleep. This is for grown folks only. So we're not held liable for anything you might be offended by. Thank you for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage, JxJury.
My man, appreciate you, big dog.
For sure.
Portland, what up? DJ Klyph, what up?
Bro, I'm chilling. Now, I've been nervous all day, but I'm amongst friends now, so I'm feeling good, B. How you doing?
Man, blessed. Cannot complain. Hey, this is fire, man.
Right?
Congratulations. First Klyph Notes Live. Y'all make some noise.
Thank you so much, brother. I'm so psyched. Thank you for being a part of this, man. Like I said, when I was thinking of individuals who I thought would be dope to sit and have a conversation with, we chop it anyway. Okay, all right. Full disclosure. So I think Jay and I talked a couple times, and then it's one of the great things about the pandemic is you had an opportunity to stay in touch with people even though you couldn't see nobody because we had Zoom and all of that. And I saw Jay we figured it out, I think, for the first time since 2019 at Drip Set.
Yep.
Which was really crazy.
It is crazy.
You know what I mean?
It is crazy.
So at any rate, man, when I was thinking about who I wanted to talk to about the project, I thought about you because I've been playing songs from Dhope Dealer on the radio show for a while. And I've told you, I've got my favorites. Come on, bro. That's what we do, baby. That's what we do.
I appreciate it, for real.
But the story behind the album, I think, is so cool. And obviously, this is not just one story. But I want to start with just the title of the project, Dhope Dealer.
Yeah. Kind
of comes across in the intro, but what was the thought process, the vision behind naming this project Dhope Dealer?
Yeah, I love that. I feel like for anybody who listens to music the way I do, I've always been an album person. I love concept albums, and so I knew I had this concept in my mind. When you think of the term Dhope Dealer, it's a negative connotation, right?
Yeah.
You immediately think of the negative. And when I think of hip hop, so much of rap that we hear today is rooted in dealing dope or being in the streets, right? That life. And I've seen it. I grew up around it. We've got friends who've done it, right? We've all seen that. But you've heard the term Hope Dealer.
Yeah.
Right. That's a familiar term. I wanted to take the idea of Hope Dealer and put a spin on the term Dhope Dealer to make it positive. So you see I slid the H in Dhope Dealer. And the idea was to really zero in on the word dope, D-H-O-P-E. And if you listen to the intro of the album, D-H-O-P-E is really slanging dope, which is honing in on a craft that provides or inspires hope. So my form of dope is my word, my music, my craft. If you out here and you're a dancer, that's your dope. That's what you inspire through. That is your art form, that is your craft. And so for me, I was like, you embody everything it means to be dope, man. What you do for the community, what you do with your, give it up, what you do for the community. You give us a platform, man, and it's literally everything that term means. You embody that. So
that's love, bro. That's love.
Yeah, so that's the concept.
That's what's up, man. Okay, so I don't think my wife is here yet. Is my wife ain't here yet? You'll know because when she walks in, she lights up her room because she's literally the most beautiful person on the planet. But because she's not here, I can tell
make
the
sure
story.
You say that again when she comes.
Bruh. So I was telling my wife. So thank you for reaching out and giving me the opportunity to host the Dhope Dealer experience. So this man, like one of the first events coming out of the pandemic, did a show at Kelly's Olympian in downtown Portland. It was a Dhope Dealer experience. Sold that joint out. It was packed. It was such a dope show. You brought in artists who are on the record with you, on the album with you.
Yep.
It was really, really dope. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of that experience.
Hell yeah.
But I was telling my wife, because, shout out to wifey, she supports the things that I do. And so I was saying I'm hosting this event, the Dhope Dealer experience for JxJury. You gonna come? And she was like, I don't know if I want to come to a show or album, listen to an album called Dhope Dealer. So I was like, no, you don't understand. So I showed her this. I showed her the sticker. And these are available. See what I did there? These are available right now over at the merch table. These stickers that really spell it out. And it really changed her perspective, right? Just seeing it. And again, it's one of the reasons that I love doing this because I want to be sure that people take it all in, that people look at the story behind the song, the story behind the music. And I think you've always done such an amazing job of laying that out for people so that there are layers to the art that you create, which is not always the case nowadays, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Especially in a time like now where oftentimes we're struggling with just trying to get through the day, right? Yeah. Looking for something to numb the pain.
Yeah, 1000%. Like I said, man, album person through to the core. My favorite artists are people who create music that has meaning and has purpose. And when you listen to the album, for those who've had a chance to listen, the sequencing of the album is very intentional. You go from intro to the interludes to, even the singles, right? The singles have this, obviously, like pop appeal.
Yeah.
But if you listen to it, there's something there.
Yeah.
And the whole sequencing of that track list tells this story. from beginning to end. So that album trailer was the kickoff point. So if you watch that trailer and then you listen to the album, it just clicks. It makes sense.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. So I talked about the time in which you created the project. So we were all trying to navigate something that no one in this generation has or any of these generations represented, had experienced before, that kicked off with the pandemic. And you released a project in the pandemic titled WFH.
Yeah.
Bruh, I love that project.
Me too. Thank you.
So there's so many layers to that project, but WFH stands for working from home.
Yep.
Just plain and simple. Like, how many people started working from home when everything shut down, right? So we can
we should say how many people were fortunate enough to, because shout out to everybody who was in the field and had to, be in the trenches, really dealing with COVID head on. That's, salute to y'all.
No doubt.
But yeah, working from home was just something so many of us were experiencing.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to stay motivated. And for me, I was actually making that album, the Dhope Dealer album. I was in the middle of making that, and the pandemic hit. I had the video concept mapped out. I had the Rick James, which was the first single. We had that ready to go. Mixed mastered, it was done. And pandemic hits. Obviously, we can't shoot the video. We can't get the merch done. I'm like, pause. And I kind of got in my own head a little bit because I was so amped up about this Dhope Dealer concept. Like, I just thought it was so good and I really wanted people to get it. But unfortunately, I think if we all go back to 2020 and how our mental state was, people were not ready to digest that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, all of from the protests and all of the political stuff we had to deal with, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, everyone's mentally drained and trying to figure out how to manage COVID. So I just this isn't the time. And I'm a big believer in universe and energy, and I knew that the universe was saying, just hold on this. The time will come. So I put out Working From Home actually just to get the creative juices out. I have a lot of people, and some of them are here, who have been listening to my music for years, that have been itching for something new. And so I was like, I gotta get something, because I've been talking about something's coming. So I pivoted, and I did Working From Home. I actually did it in 2 months. I just produced everything, wrote it. It was it was more of just a fun project, but there was a lot of meaning in it. Yeah, there's a lot of texture, like you said.
Which is so cool, the fact that you're in a position that you can literally work from home. I mean, as we watch your socials, we get an opportunity to see the studio, to see your creative process that you share with us, which I think is really dope. So that had to be, I would imagine, therapeutic to a certain degree, right? Because you were
low key. I'm not gonna lie. If you're a producer, we were built for quarantine, man. Like, that shit didn't faze me nothing. I was good. My wife was going crazy. I was good. I was like, she go to bed. I'm home till 3. I don't gotta get on a Zoom meeting till 9. Oh yeah, we get it in. So I can lock in for hours. Y'all know the feeling. Like, I don't need to be out there.
No doubt. And there's so much to that project where you touch on like your experience, and I think that it resonates with a lot of us, right? The things that you were experiencing. The song that you wrote that really references your queen, which I think is really cool. How you help us to identify the opportunity that we have to spend time with people in a time of stress and the benefits of that.
Oh yeah, man. Lockdown, you talking about lockdown? Yeah. You heard the lockdown joint. I know that's a couple favorites in here. Yeah, that one's special, man, because I felt really lucky to have somebody there. You know. There's a lyric in there where I'm like, I could have been stuck in a crib with somebody that didn't want to be with. Gotta admit, we kind of lucky for this, for real. I think that's true, right?
Yes.
It's like, I feel like we could have been stuck in the crib with someone we didn't want to be with, or didn't have that. And I was blessed. I just felt very thankful. So I did that record. If you haven't heard Lockdown, it's a super dope record. And also the video is super relatable too. But yeah, we're just showing us messing around in the house. Playing with the cats. Trying to pass the time. But it is a bop though.
Bruh.
When we did it at the show, people was going crazy. I was actually really surprised.
Yeah.
Yes.
No doubt.
Shout out Gabe. He knows every word.
So that album came out, and it really, to a great degree, I think, held us over. And then you hit us with Rick James, the first single from Dhope Dealer.
It's a joint.
Again, it's so cool. How many Dave Chappelle fans out there? So if you've seen the Dave Chappelle, Rick James skit, it really references that. That's sort of the foundation. That's the basis of the song.
Yeah, Chappelle is the foundation.
And the visuals are dope. We talked about your production, but like you said, you had the video treatment worked out. You have a team, but you do it all, B.
Yeah, I try to. I feel like there's let's be real, making any kind of art at a high level is expensive to do, right?
Yeah.
It's expensive to do. So the reason why, I'm so a heavy believer in DIY is because coming up, as a kid, I wanted to make music.
Yeah.
I didn't have the means, I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
But I knew how to crack versions of Fruity Loops. I knew how to do that.
That's producer software for everybody out there, not Fruit Loops that you eat in the morning. It's like,
But I'm a kid in high school who can't afford none of this stuff. And I found access to it, and I was like, I'm going to learn it myself. So I've been doing music for 15 years and been producing for that long. And I love it personally.
Yeah.
I actually don't really like having other people touch the work, because I want my vision to come to life the way I see it in my mind.
Yeah.
But I do realize if you really want to go far, you do need a team.
Yeah.
You do. So at some point, you start to pull in the people that really believe in it and see the vision, and then they can add their expertise, knowing they know what I like, right? So I think that's important. But yeah, produce. I know there's a couple people in here who can relate, but producing, doing the engineering is like so much. If you listen to that Dhope Dealer album, man, I could probably say a good 6 months of making that was just me mixing and engineering, mixing and mastering that record.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But I think that shows because of the quality of the project, right?
Thank you.
One of the reasons that another one of the reasons that I rock with you so hard is because of the sensibilities that I find in your music. So you have found a way to create a balance of great music that makes us want to bounce, and great content. I'm an old head. I own it now. I live in it. I'm old. I appreciate being as old as I am. I made it this far, you know what I mean?
Hey, I'm 32. My knees hurt, my back hurt. I'm getting there.
But as a result of that, man, a lot of what I came up on, and it's not just because of the era, but in part of the era is really lyrical content.
Yeah.
And you're a very lyrical MC. But your sensitivities and what comes across in your music in terms of your view of the world seems to be bigger than the neighborhood. It seems to be grander than what we see around us. And I know that you've had an opportunity to touch different continents, that you've traveled. What, if any, impact did that have on the creation of a project like Dhope Dealer?
One of my favorite words when I talk about development, as an individual, is exposure. Exposure to things will open your eyes to things that you never imagined possible. Gives you perspective of how other people may look at you, look at the world, right? So I feel really fortunate to, have traveled quite a bit in my life. And as it relates to music, on your comment about being real lyrical, all my favorite artists are extremely lyrical, but they have the pop appeal. I think that's so important. If you want people to rock with it, you gotta be able, it's gotta be, it's gotta have a feeling.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of artists out there that I know who are phenomenal rappers, incredible rappers, but they never really get on because they can't connect with an audience. And I think as a brand, when I'm thinking about branding and I'm thinking about how do I reach every single person in this room, we may not listen to the same music, but I guarantee I can make a song that you'd find relatable or you would resonate to some capacity, because I'm thinking about more than just me. Like you said, it is bigger than me. I have a message and I might have a way I want to say it, but it doesn't matter. If I'm trying to reach one of y'all, I have to say it in a way that you can actually digest it. You know, I can't just say it the way I think.
Yeah.
And that goes for that's just language in general. That's just that's being a salesperson, right? If you're trying to sell something, you gotta be able to connect with somebody. If you're trying to date somebody, you gotta be able to connect with that person, right? So that's how I look at music and how I approach it, man. Like the exposure I've had to so many cultures, so many different ways that people think.
Yeah.
I gotta be able to tap all of that.
Right.
If I want, you know, everyone in here to listen to what I have to say.
No doubt. That dude's speaking knowledge, man. As we listen to your music, we really listen to it. We get an opportunity to hear you speak on what has provided, to a certain degree, provided platforms for you to see the world, which is what you do in your day job. And so you've had the opportunity to work for a global brand for a minute, and you speak highly of those who are represented by that brand in terms of basketball. Being in that environment, what impact did that have, or has it had an impact on how you see branding?
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I would say before I started my career, I didn't fully understand the power of branding. I didn't.
Yeah.
You could even listen to my music from 2012 to 2018, and it was like, there's so much potential there, but it wasn't. Dhope Dealer was like a whole nother thing, because I considered kind of the end-to-end, right? I thought about concept to the colors, to the type of font that's being used, to the actual words that I'm consistently putting in front of people's faces, right? Even the type of samples I'm using in the music, right? Or the type of instruments that I might have come in at the front end of the album, and then you hear it again, and that, you know, that's all branding. That's all branding, and I think it just makes it so much more powerful. For those who came to the Dhope Dealer experience a month ago, that was just flooded in branding. It was, I mean, what you see on stage now, there's these dandelions and the money. Yes, the money's real. No, I'm kidding, that's fake.
I was like, bro, we was about to stop right now. You feel me?
But so much of the album, when you think about Dhope Dealer, yeah, I mean, the reason people deal dope is for the money.
Yeah.
You know, you see Gold Chains over here. I got a song called Gold Chains, and Rick James, you see me embodying the persona of what most dope dealers are, people who want to be the rapper.
Yeah.
You know, what they're chasing. All of that's part of the branding of that. And so I attest a lot of that to, you know, what I've learned, what I've been exposed to in my day job for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like there is nothing I want to do anymore in life that I feel I can't learn from. So if I'm gonna take a job, it's because I know I'm gonna get something from that and apply that to my brand or who I am, and I'm not gonna just do it just for the money. Because I mean, we can always do something for the money, but like, what am I actually getting from it? Like relationships and networking and the type of things that I could learn to add to my toolkit, right? That's what I do the job for. So yeah, to answer your question.
Yeah, no doubt. I love that. One of the things that we get to also see in your art, when we look at music videos that you've made, is we get to see how you share your family with us. You know what I'm saying? Your family is represented throughout the art. One of my favorite songs on the project is a joint called Brown Hands. Powerful joint, bro.
Yeah, that's a joint. Thank you.
What was besides the obvious? What was sort of the thought behind creating that song, Brown Hands?
Yeah, Brown Hands is fire to me because it's a record that you can play in a club and people will go crazy to it. People crip walking and two-stepping, and it's got this deep ass message to it. You know what I mean? And I love that. It's like, you know, people screaming Brown Hands, they don't even know what I'm talking about because they're just having a good time because it gives you that feeling.
Right.
But when you listen to it, man, what inspired that? So I wrote that actually in after all of the 2020 stuff went down politically, you know, Black Lives Matter movement and protests and all of that. And I think the thing that I was, I guess, most torn about was how BLM became something it was never intended to be. And that tore me because obviously it's a message that means so much, but because the media and just society completely flipped that and made it something that it wasn't. You know, you go to these I was going to protests, and there were people that were of all shades here in Portland, and I could just tell. I mean, they were out there with bats and like saying and doing the most, and like none of them actually cared about the cause. They was there to just wreak havoc, and that to me was just upsetting. And so I wanted to make a record that spoke to my experiences as a person of color, but I also had like good friends actually, and this part kind of hurt. We saw, you know, I think the true colors of some people in that year. Yeah. And there were people who actually were like very anti the message, the positive aspect of the message. So I was like, you know what, I have something I want to say. And going back to how do you reach people with your language? Yeah. Brown Hands, when you listen to it and you watch the music video, there's actually the chorus, for those who haven't heard it, it's like, damn, they don't like me for my brown hands. And if you watch the music video, there's not a single Black Lives Matter in there at all. And you see people of all shades of color represented. And we're all bonding over this message that we as people matter. But we also acknowledge that I matter, and I'm acknowledging that you matter. And there's, I think the favorite part about that was I had the same people who were against the Black Lives Matter messaging bumping that record and telling me how amazing it was. Yeah. And they were listening, and like I could tell, not only was it, I think because it had the appeal that I keep talking about, it brought them in. Yeah. That's what hooked them. Yeah. But then they play it back and listen to it, and they're just like, oh, I get it. Right? So it was just kind of my way of educating people on something I just thought that was so important. And so that's why I think when, if you're making music or you're doing art, you just gotta like, however you want your word to be, if your goal is to reach people, you got to understand people and meet them where they're at. And that's what I do with my music.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Also, family's huge real quick. My whole family was in that music video, so that's actually my favorite song because I got my mom in that, my pops was in that, my brother. Actually, my brother just turned 30 like a few days ago. Dirty 30. Y'all get him some tequila. But yeah, that one was probably my most, I think, closest to my heart body of work because my parents were there, my brother was there, and if you listen to the record, like I talk about them. My mom's Mexican and has been heavily discriminated for being Mexican. She's from Tijuana, so it's like right there on the border. And my dad's from the South, and we all know, how the South is. So it's like two people who lived some pretty, crazy experiences. And so that was a powerful record, and I think for me, all encompassing.
Yeah. So now that you have an opportunity to touch stages, now that you have an opportunity to, for people to see you perform the record live, and you get to have that experience. You talked about like the entire time that went into creating this project and what that vision was. Do they match? Do they line up? Is this what you were hoping it would be?
It matched for sure. It absolutely matched. I would say it exceeded a little bit though, mainly because it was something that I felt was going to resonate with people, but I think I just unlocked some things in myself that I didn't know I was capable of in the process. And from certain things that maybe I did on stage to the most minute detail of how I don't know, tweaked a specific frequency and how I was EQing the master. Like, there was so much growth in that, and I think I was just really proud of the growth. So I'm just excited. Y'all would be y'all in trouble when this next album comes.
No doubt, no doubt. I just got a message. I got word. Unfortunately, we will not be graced with the presence of my beautiful wife. So,
oh man,
I'm really broken up.
I'll make sure she knows you gave her a shout out.
There you go. There you go.
I
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yo, I just want to one more time taking the opportunity to shout out a couple folk in case some people weren't here, man. None of this happens without support. So can I have everybody, like, as loud as you can, make as much noise so that they hear you out there. Make some noise for the Show Bar for hosting. This is such a dope thing, and I'm so grateful that we've had the opportunity to do this. The cool thing is that this is not the only thing that we have scheduled to do here. Not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday night, I curate a local hip hop event called Mic Check. And we're celebrating our 6-year anniversary of Mic Check.
Hell yeah! Hey, if you ain't been a Mic Check, you gotta pull. That's a Portland community staple right there.
Man, I'm so excited. It's going to be right here at the Show Bar on the 21st. Some amazing Northwest hip hop legends are going to be on the bill. It's an album release for a crew called Boom Bap Project. Versatile the Great's going to be on the bill. Cool Nuts and DJ Fat Boy are going to be on the bill. Dark Time Sunshine is on the bill. Libretto's on the bill. DJ Rep Shines is going to do a set. And then grateful to have my resident DJ O.G.ONE.
Yes,
in
sir.
the building. So we're going to be right here on the 21st. And then we'll be back to do another live episode of the Klyph Notes podcast right here. So once again, thank you to the Show Bar. Thank you to XRAY FM and the Numberz for supporting the Klyph Notes podcast, just helping to spread the word. And thank you to Akepele Apparel for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. So all of those, hit them up, follow them if you're on social media, and support the supporters. One more time, let's give them all a hand. So now we're here. Things are opening up. People ain't working from home like they were anymore. You know what I mean? So how do you navigate what's next? Because you were able to put a lot of these energies into these projects because you're working from home. Well, that ain't necessarily the case now.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Musically, I'm in a space where I feel like, I just put my heart and soul into a project, a body of work that I think deserves so much more than 6 months of being out in the world. Like, there's so many people who haven't heard it. There's people in here who haven't heard it. Yeah. And y'all hanging out with us right now.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that if you believe in something, you don't just move off of it, you push that. So I'm gonna definitely use this time right now to keep pushing the album, keep doing things like this, keep getting the concept and the word out. And in the meantime, I'm gonna hone in and just work on my craft, because the last thing I want to do is have my next project sound like Dhope Dealer. Like, you gotta have growth. I mean, my favorite artists, you don't see them for years and then they come back with another album. Like Kendrick tonight, I've been dying for this.
Yes.
But that's how I like to work. It's like, I want my next body of work, you see the growth. If you listen to Work From Home or listen to Bloom, and you compare it to this, it's night and day. You see the growth.
Yeah.
And so that's my goal. I want to always be moving forward and giving listeners something new. You know what I mean? I mean, our radio is oversaturated with the same shit.
Yeah.
I'm you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to fall into that. I'm gonna give something new. So, collaborations, production. I'd love to start producing for more people. I don't at all.
Yeah.
So I want to start doing that and just working on the craft so that. And I got some new gear too that I haven't like fully dove in on yet. So I got stuff to do for sure.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, and I guess on a personal tip, like work's mad busy, working a new gig now. I think I'm just in a position right now in my life where all I want to do is grow. I'm looking to like learn and grow right now. So then the next time y'all hear a body of work from me, it's gonna be like evident.
Yeah. That's what's up. Can I brag on you a little bit? So, you know how you get to know people and you know them like this is who I know you as, or this is what I know you for, and then you get to see, oh, I actually didn't realize that you did other things. I have some people in the building tonight where that's the case. Like they know me for one thing, and no, this is the other side of me. This is the side that the closet side of me. So connected with you, through the music situation, and you came through, and I don't know that at the time I realized who you worked for. Can I say you worked for?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that I realized who you worked for. So you worked for Nike.
Yeah.
And so this man was very involved in sort of the branding. We talk about branding for some athletes that you may be familiar with. So you were behind the project for the first shoe, the first sort of introduction to branding for someone who's in the playoffs right now. Is that right?
Yeah. I was more on the apparel, but our team was like all branding for all product. Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Yeah. So how many people are NBA fans? Yeah. Well, yeah. You don't count. A gentleman who's an NBA champion goes by the name of Giannis. Y'all know Giannis Antetokounmpo? Yeah, this is the man right here who really helped push that apparel line. So big ups to you for that.
Thank you.
The first time that you came through, I'm filtering. I don't know if I should say it this way.
Say it.
The first
came through where?
I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. Let me say that I was gifted with an article of clothing that you had a part in designing. You also worked with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. That's my dude.
See that? Like that's my dude. Like that's that ain't nothing to it.
I love Kyrie.
But I think again my point is those experiences have obviously been impactful on how you move, and then you don't only keep it to yourself. You share with other people. You share ideas. You share concepts. You share the growth.
Yeah.
Which I think is not always the case. So big ups to you for that. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny, man. I like to keep my work life there, and then I like to keep everything else that I embody and give it to y'all. My IG, I rarely really talk about work.
Right.
I just don't.
Right.
Unless it's something I'm super proud of and everybody knows about it, I might just throw it up. But But I think that working in what I do on my day job, that actually working with the athletes specifically is I think where I got a lot of my branding like cranking.
Yeah.
Because I've worked with those guys for 5-6 years. So it's like anybody who has a shoe, I've worked with them. And you see the campaigns, you see, everything that we put out into the world. There's just so much that goes into it, and I see the behind the scenes on the years it took for us to launch Giannis's first line, or to launch, LeBron's next line, or whatever. So I'm like, why am I spending all this time helping their brand when I could be putting the same amount of effort I'm putting into them into me? Into what I do, because I have a product. I have something that I think I've got some dope I'm trying to push
right
too. So so when my mind finally clicked, it was like, wow, what we do is actually really amazing. I need to apply everything I'm learning and doing to my life and my brand, what I do. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. That's what that is. That's just dope. Brother, look, man, once again, I can't say how grateful I am. One, just to be on the journey with you, but two, for you to be the person to kick this thing off, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I have to say, man, I feel humbled. I feel just overwhelmingly honored to be the person you chose to do this for the first time. It's a really, really dope concept that I'm proud of you. I'm proud to be part of it. And I'm just blessed to have you in my life, man. Y'all make some noise for DJ Klyph.
I appreciate you, man. Was this cool? Did y'all dig this? Was this alright? Like, should we bring this back? Should we do it again? Okay. We're gonna do it again. It's already locked in. I just wanted to make sure that y'all would show up again. We're gonna do it again. I have a couple things lined up. If anybody's ventured downtown, there's a really cool thing in Pioneer Square called the Welcome Dome, and there's a lot of stuff, really neat stuff going on down there. I'm doing an episode of the Klyph Notes live podcast in the Welcome Dome in Pioneer Square. Once again, it's a free event. I'm going to be there on the 24th of this month. I have an opportunity to interview two very amazing individuals. There's a local rapper named Rashid Jamal,
Legend.
who's just an amazing lyricist.
Legend.
He blessed the stage at the Dhope Dealer Experience.
Oh yeah, she
at
pulled
Kelly's
up,
Olympian.
man. It was amazing.
So I have an opportunity to interview Rashid Jamal, and then I also have an opportunity that day to interview a gentleman named Tyrone Hendricks, who's a local drummer in Portland. And talk about legends, man. He's played with some of your favorite artists. He's played with Prince. He's played with Stevie Wonder. He's played with Mike Phillips. So those are two interviews that I get to do, and again, it's going to be a free event downtown Portland on the 24th. If you're a hip hop fan, if you're a hip hop head, on the 19th, I get a chance to just spin. Like, that's why I was taking notes from this man tonight. I'll be down there on the 19th in the Welcome Dome with DJ Ambush. We're just doing a boom bap block party. So really heavy in the 90s hip hop. So that's going on. But everything I'm doing is on my website, djklyph.com, DJKLYPH. If you're on social media, you can hit me at DJ Klyph, man. The 28th. There is, talk about 90s hip hop, 90s R&B. This event, I'm so excited for. I get an opportunity to just be on the mic. See, back in the day, I used to rap. Back in the day.
Hey, you still? Hey, everybody want to know. I know y'all want to know.
Look,
Still got it?
y'all ain't ready for these bars. Y'all ain't ready for this. On the 28th of this month, man, we're gonna be at a spot called the Get Down. It's a new venue in Portland, dope venue. I just get to MC. I just get to engage with the crowd while three amazing DJs are blessing the stage, just playing 90s, just throwbacks, 90s hip hop, 90s R&B. DJ O.G.ONE, DJ Juggernaut, and DJ OG2 are all going to be in the building. May the 28th. Tickets are available right now. Go to DJOG.one.com to get your tickets. Or you go to DJKlyph.com to get tickets as well. So that's going down on May the 28th at the Get Down. So you definitely want to tap in.
Fire.
If you're still not quite familiar with who OG is and what he does, we're going to wrap up here in a minute. But we're going to transition into Love Jones. And Love Jones is a really cool situation. It's an open mic poetry, spoken word situation. It's a really chill vibe, so you're invited to hang out and just vibe with us for a little while OG.ONE spins. Once again, thank y'all so much for being here. Now, there's a couple things that I always strive to do. Once again, I feel very blessed to have the platforms that I have. When I do my radio show on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on XRAY FM 107.1 and 91.1 FM, www.xray.fm, tune in. Whenever I have an opportunity to have artists come through, specifically have rappers come through, I always want to, I try to open up the phone lines, right?
Yeah.
And not just rappers, anyone, and text line. If y'all have questions, I got people right here. So we have an opportunity to do that right now. Yeah, so I just want to open up the floor, man. If anybody has any thoughts or questions for JxJury, he's right here. I know that y'all been wanting, like, this is why a lot of y'all came, because you just wanted to ask this man questions. So anybody got questions for JxJury? I see a hand back there.
What up, player?
Yeah, come on up. Schubert's in the building. Y'all make some noise for Schubert. Yo, one of the dopest producers in Portland.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's up, Schubert? No, you gotta get the mic.
What up? Okay. So yeah, big fan. What up, man?
Oh man, give me some.
So yeah, I was gonna say, I can tell that you're heavily influenced by like 2000s rap. I know that's like when you came up in 32. But like with all the lines and references you make to 2000s raps, with your production, what's something that like you still find yourself doing that's very 2000s production? I feel like, I'm very 90s influenced. I find myself doing the same things that other producers did? Is there shit that you still find yourself doing that's like, oh, this is so 2000s rap?
I love that question. If I had to pick one, I'll stick to like a production standpoint. I have like there's this like feeling that I get when I listen to like 2000s, like, I'm trying to think of an artist who would make sense for this reference I'm gonna make. If you were to listen to like, I will keep it simple, like 2000, like Weezy, like when he's on a rampage. There's so many like sounds that were in his music, like Fireman or like anything that has these like weird like synth sounds that like you feel like don't actually go with the song. If you go back and listen to Fireman, it's just like real. It's like it's kind of wild, but he just crushes the song. I have like a lot of tendencies to like want to pull that sound, like some kind of synth lead. There's always a synth lead that comes back, and I think there's not a single album I put out where at some point I just like, I gotta get the synth out and I gotta throw that on there. And if for anybody who produces music or plays music, right, just for fun, if you're making a song, anytime I make a song, it's not a joint if I didn't solo on it. So I pull that synth out and I'm just like playing all types of different leads and stuff on it. I might even throw a talk box on it. That's another thing I can bring back. And if I can groove to that for 2 hours and not get bored, that's probably a record I should do. Because that means people are probably gonna resonate with it just as much. So I don't know if that answers the question, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah.
Anybody else got a question for JxJury? Okay, right here.
Legend.
My brother, what's going on?
Yes, sir.
So I was just wondering, I know your focus is music, and I was wondering if there's other forms of art that, in times of your life you've drawn inspiration from, and which artists or which forms of art have maybe contributed, to the art that you produce today.
Great question. I think music is so heavily inspired by many art forms. You could argue that, graffiti art and hip hop go together, right? Obviously, music videos and music go together, right? That's a form of art that's film. I think visuals, period, really drive my music or where my mind goes. When I made like Rick James, for example, I had an idea for that, and I was looking at like film and things like, I love quirky films like Tarantino films and things like that. That's just like make you kind of turn your head like, oh, it's like it's not just black and white. There's always so much gray space in that.
Yeah.
And I try to marry a lot of what I do, kind of rooted in that feeling where it makes people kind of turn their head like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So when you listen to, like, even just a song, your wife thought the show we were gonna do was gonna be completely different, right? Just in that, but like all the visuals, I pulled a lot of inspiration from a lot of the movies and film that I love that resonated with the message that I was trying to get across. If you watch the end of that Rick James video, for example, this was actually, again, visual inspiration here. I came across a photographer, and I'm blanking on the name. I could get it for you. But he shot this amazing image of this girl who was clearly like a blonde model that he was depicting. And she's laying on the ground as if she just overdosed. And normally, she may have drool or something coming out of her mouth. And she had jewelry and money falling out of her mouth. And my mom was like, oh, shit. So I had to capture that in my Rick James video.
Right.
I made a motion picture of that same scenario. Me leaving the club, I was in the, I had bottle service, I had shorties with me, and I've got money, and I'm, whatever. And in that song, in the whole record, the whole music video, I overdose on the lifestyle. You never see me actually really do anything super crazy. I overdosed on the jewelry and the money and the chase. And so you see me go down the hall and I fall and I OD. at the end of that film, and you see the jewelry coming out of my mouth. So I get heavily inspired by visuals.
We have time for one more question.
Oh, not this guy. Okay.
Big fan. I just want to know when's the next project? Because I don't want to like stand outside your house or nothing like that. I will. When's the next? What's it? Do you know what it might sound like?
What it might sound? Oh, I can tell you what it
hits. Anything?
I'll give you this.
Okay.
I don't know, my wife was tuning in earlier. I have to talk about this. We celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary. Thank you. Shout out, wife. We celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary last October. And we do the traditional anniversary gifts. So like, I think year 1's like paper and year 2's whatever, right? So we do that. Yeah. And year 5 was wood. And she got me a Moog Subsequent 37 with the wood on the side. Yeah. And she knew I'd been wanting that. I just hadn't like decided to pay for it. And she was like, "Here's your anniversary gift." And I was just like, "Damn." Wow. So shout out wifey for that gift.
That's what's up.
But I tell that story because that is such a powerful instrument. It just has when you play anything that's like sub or bass notes in that thing, it's unbelievable. It's a reason why it's tried and true and it's been around for decades. It's like so my next project is gonna have a lot of Moog all over that thing. From bass to synth leads to even the talk box sounds that I can do with that thing. So it's gonna sound, I don't know, I think we're gonna get a lot more maybe K-Tronada-esque Flying Lotus type of vibes mixed with like what I sound like. I think just when I think of those mixing together.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Excited for that.
But I don't have a time frame now. I'm not rushing that. I gotta live life, man. I gotta experience so I can give y'all my experiences through my words. So
I love that.
But Dhope Dealer out now, all streaming platforms. You can go get that. There's merch back over there too. If you don't got a Dhope Dealer tee, you should get one. Tap in.
That's what's up. One more time, y'all. Make some noise for JxJury. So the last thing before we get up off the stage, man. Like I said, whenever I have these platforms, I want to provide platforms for artists. But I feel like it's also my responsibility to hold artists to a certain standard, right? So if you're a DJ and I have a platform for you, let me see you do what you're gonna do, right? If you're a singer, if you're a rapper, I can't just give you a stage and not expect you to do something with it, right?
Damn right.
Okay, so we've heard about the album. I don't know if everybody here has heard the album yet. Can we invite JxJury to give us a little taste of what he does? Okay. So now when I switch roles, and this is what you're gonna get on the 20. If you come on the 28th to the Get Down for the 90s hip hop and R&B show, see what I did there? Then you'll see this is how I get down. So when I'm hosting a show, right, I kind of get in my feelings when I see this. See, I can't have space. So I know we're still COVID, so let's be mindful of that. But I want y'all we gotta make it very warm and welcoming. So if you're cool with coming close, I want you to come close. But either way, I need y'all to make some noise so that we can push Jay to do his thing. So can y'all make some noise one more time for JxJury?